see what we've got with the lighting. Oh, there we are. Hello. That's very bright, but I think I'm going to leave it where it is for now, setting-wise. And thank you to Carl Casey for permission to use this royalty-free, no copyright background music. This is 2 hours of synthwave mix. And I think the track we're on is called Forgotten Planet, but I don't know all of them that are coming. So anyway, that's where we're at, and so I'm going to start getting ready. I have got concealer that I've never used. This is the Smashbox concealer. I think it was like $32, so it's fairly pricey. I do not know the best way to use it. It's a weird spongy foot. I'm not sure if I like that. I'm gonna see if I can take a little bit off of that with my brush. And I think that's a better way to use it than with this. I don't know what they call this. I think it's a doe foot or something. I think I've heard people call it, but I don't know if that's what this is. Just flip that little sponge over and do the outside. It's very creamy, this concealer. I do not know what it's supposed to look like. I think this is fairly bright, but I wouldn't want it really any darker, and I certainly don't want it any lighter. I mean, this is as light as I dare go. I had a lovely helper at the Shoppers Drug Mart at Carlingwood Mall, where she showed me how to test it on my, well, I tested on my wrist. I watch other people on YouTube testing on my wrist, and she tested on the back of my hand, which actually is more like my face. My wrist is nothing like my face because I've got nothing on there now and not even close. So I'm going to blend this in a little before it dries on my face. Yeah, I think that color match is pretty good for, well, what I use it for. I don't know enough yet to find out the downfalls. I don't know whether this is gonna, be really cakey on my skin. It doesn't feel that way so far. So that's where we're at right now. And then I think I'm going to use the Revlon Age Defying 3 Times foundation. I'm just going to put it on here. Okay. So that's what I do. Like, it's one pump. It's a generous pump. I've got a big face. What I do is I take the stuff that's on the back of my hands and I rub it to the other back of my other hand, in between the fingers and everything else. And that way, the back of my hands technically are done. Just with the product that was left over. Like, there was nothing really left. It was just the coloring on my skin. So I just kind of smeared that around. If I had to, I would spritz it with my Avene water just to lightly mist it if I wanted to go a little further, if it was a little dry. But otherwise, I just use it because it's there. I'm not a big fan of waste in any fashion. I don't like wasting time. I don't like wasting resources. I certainly don't like wasting energy. But I also am not averse to putting in whatever energies are required to achieve what I set out to do. But that varies. Like if I'm learning something like what I'm doing now, and this is not a day of seriousness, yeah, I have things to do and stuff that I'm going to be going around and people I will see and everything else. But it's not like I'm going to be, having professional pictures taken where, this is a documentation that's going to exist in how I present myself. You might want to put a little more effort into something like that. This is not one of those things. This is me just going about my day. And if I don't look perfect, well, then I just look like a perfectly normal person as far as I'm concerned. When I see people that look a little bit too perfect, there's something almost uncanny valley about that to me. But it doesn't mean I don't appreciate the artistry and the perfection and the time that people put into, even if not achieving that day, the time it took to get up to have the skill level to be able to achieve that in whatever speed of time and ability level. Okay, so I think I am foundationed. See, because I have the beard, the neck and everything else isn't quite as important as if you didn't have this, you have to make sure that's all connected to down and you want it all blended in and looking natural. You do not want it to suddenly look like a mask, and I don't think that does on me. It may by the time I'm done, because, maybe that's just what I do to myself. Maybe I give myself a mask. Now, you may or may not hear in the background, there was some rumbling. You may not hear it over the music, but they're doing construction a couple of blocks away, and what is happening is there's a sound of sort of 3 horns. Then after that's to clear everybody out of the way. Then there will be an explosion where they're using the dynamite or whatever it is they specifically use to explode in these controlled ways. Then you'll hear one more sort of siren saying everything's clear, and then people can come back into the area and address whatever they have to address. And that's been happening since last fall or the end of the summer. So it's supposed to go on for another few months still. But I just bring it up because you may hear it in the background, and a lot of times I don't notice it anymore because we're so used to it that people might go, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it's nothing. Sometimes it's much louder than other times. Okay, let's see if I can put a little highlighty kind of color here, a little brightener. Little brightener. Just any area where you want to have it look like it's coming forward a little bit, you put on a lighter color. And, and you can play around with, what works best for you. But see, it's just a little bit lighter there. And here on the cheeks, see, it's a little lighter, and that makes them kind of come forward. Anything that you hit with light comes forward. Anything that you hit with darker colors recedes. That's all you need to know, and I am not an artist, but I do understand the theory. So I'm trying to put the theory that I understand into practice. So now I'm going in with a, I don't know, it's sort of a chestnutty color to me. Like the one beside it, see here, is a little bit more orangey and gold, whereas this is a little bit more ashy. And because I have warmth in my face, I feel I can get away with a bit of the ashy as long as I don't overdo it. If I overdo it, it just makes me look a little muddy. And I have done that plenty of time, made myself look particularly muddy. Okay. If you do it around the hairline, it kind of shortens your forehead a little. That is kind of the overall thing of why people do this. You know, like when you're kind of shading and highlighting, you know, which overall is just contouring. But it's just, you know, recede some features minimally. Now, if you're a real artist, you could graphically really change that because you can really gradiate between the dark, slowly getting to the light. You can go more extreme when you have a gradient that way because it still blends. Whereas if I was to do it, I'd probably end up with like the darkest color going boom, 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 lightest color, boom, 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 boom. And then I'd have like these two stripes across my head that I'd try to blend in, and that's just not gonna work. Okay. So, and I always do a little bit to the ears. That's just a holdover from my theater days. Back of the neck, like all the things that you do when you're doing theater, going, don't forget this. Which is also why I do the back of my hands. You know, I put the makeup on there, do the stuff, rub it together, and it's just expedient. Now, it wasn't this kind of makeup. Basically, when I was doing theater, you have your base, which you put on all your skin just so the lights don't glow off of you and you're not reflective. And when you're this white, you tend to be very reflective. So that's just kind of a little bit of the theory, how I came to do what I do. I watch other people to learn techniques as best I can and whatnot. But, you know, the theory stuff, I had a little bit of foundation in that. I just had never had to put it into practical application much before. So that's really all I'm going to do in that respect. So now it is time to... That just seems awfully dim. No, that's as bright as it gets. It just seems awfully dim when I'm looking in my mirror compared to what I'm used to. But I guess it is definitely brighter up on here. I just see if I'm looking here at the screen, I'm not looking over here at the camera. If I look at the camera, I can't see what's happening over here on the screen. That's not what I'm looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for. Okay. I'm not sure which palette. Maybe I'll just do something simpler today. Okay, I'm just gonna eeny, meeny, miny, moe it and pull out my old palette. My old Aziza palette that I've had for I couldn't tell you how long. Not as long as the Fennel products, but plenty long enough. I don't know if I've used them with my new brushes. I don't think I have. So I'm going to... Actually, I should start with my eyebrows. Who am I kidding? I need to start with my eyebrows. Priorities. Woolly, woolly, woolly eyebrows. I should be trying to do more 80s makeup with this music. Okay, and then comb these down. And, you know, you can arch them, you can do anything. I'm kind of doing this a little quicker than I should. So I'm not really doing the individual hairs as good as I should. As I've said on many other of my videos, they're not really tutorials, it's just this is what I have done, and it's either right, wrong, or otherwise. But I shave off the underneath part of my eyebrow so that I can, like I'm doing, oops, shoot. That is the one thing I do not like. I think that fella there is a very small amount of product in here, and I don't think there's any more. Is there? Or is it broken? Maybe it was broken. Okay. It was broken in several pieces in there. Odd, it's not like I do anything drastic with it. Yep, see, and doing that, and then the little pieces just come off. I'm not real fond of this. I like how it looks. Yeah, see, now I'm at the end. I've used, and that was really expensive. It was like $30, and it didn't really do what I needed it to do. So I'm just gonna hope that I can smear some around.